It's like olden days, isn't it? So did you actually get caught sticking your cock in that carp's mouth?
Very much like the old days, my boy.
I would have taken away your fishing license, or at least a complaint.
It's why you no longer have a fishing license. That's exactly the reason.
I know. Oh, we live. Oh, I didn't even notice.
Yeah. For some matter reason, we are live. We've gone live. So I hope everybody's well. Welcome to episode 10 of Endless Banter. As you can see, we've not got Paul this week. We have the beautiful Rick, also known as Riyadh. Riyadh stands for Rick is a dick, if you don't know. So throughout these 2 hours of the show, if you want to call Rick Riyadh, you are more than welcome to it, because that's what he's known as. So I hope we're all doing well. So Riyadh, I stole this off another show, but what have you had for tea? What are you drinking? And how's this week been so far?
I'm sure we started that. I'm not sure whether it was anything to do with food. What I had for tea? I had sausage and mash.
Nice.
And the funny story is, I sent you pictures of my new car today, and I was showing Jenna, but the quickest way I could get to show Jenna was just through Messenger on you. And I scrolled back 3 where you sent me the mashed potatoes with sausages and the willy in the middle. Brilliant. Yeah.
What did she say?
She liked it. What more?
Did she want to know what you're doing with your tea?
She wanted to know. She wanted to know why you sent it.
I did tell you that I'd made you dinner that evening, but obviously that evening you didn't show up. So.
I was just going to say it's Tom. That's why I sent it.
It's actually Tom.
I know. So that's what I had for dinner. It was very nice. No gravy though. No gravy.
Not baked beans. How many baked beans?
No, we had vegetables. Believe it or not, vegetables.
But it was dry.
Well, no, I put some butter on it. No, I'm not a fucking weirdo. I'm just sharing out your link. So what was the next question?
And I said, how's your week been so far? Obviously, we've just said about you getting your new car, so it's been a good week so far this week.
Well, I haven't got it yet.
Usually we have Paul on complaining about Land Rover, so at least we've got somebody with a happy car this week.
I'm not good. I'm not good with quars. So I think there might be many weeks of complaining to come. But yeah, no, I got the ultimate Chavmobile. So brilliant, lovely. Gonna look like a right cunt turning up to Vape Fest in that.
It's quite. I think it's nice. I think it's actually quite nice.
It's an upgraded Chav car, I think.
It's a toy, mate, as we discussed before.
Yeah,
it's a toy, so.
Yeah. It's a car for a Chav that's turned 30-ish. Yeah. So
nice car.
what am I vaping on? Was that one of the questions?
Yeah. What are you vaping on? Yeah.
I got 3 things. One, don't go anywhere without it. My Pico with Nautilus 2. And that, I believe we're talking about Jam a bit later, but that I took to Jam. And Marksky and that had to go on it. And it's got my Blackjack. It's the same Blackjack. Well, not exactly the same, but the same flavour I've vaped for bloody 4 or 5 years now. And they loved it. They loved the flavour. They loved it. So I think they're going out and getting Nautilus 2s now. That was the highlight of Jam.
The Nautilus 2. We'll talk about Jam later on.
With the Blackjack. So I'm on that. And then I'm on the Mi 1. Pimping it up.
What do you think to that?
The Mi 1's good. I've heard the Mi Pod's better. Well, you got the Mi 1 and the Mi Pod.
Is it the Mi? Oh, no, you've got 2 of the different Mi 1s, aren't you? There's 2 versions. There's one with an adjustable airflow, and then there's one with a lockable ring, isn't there?
It's got airflow adjustment on the top ring.
I think that's the first one. I think.
I don't know. Either way, it works.
What about battery life on it? I think it's decent battery life and everything like that.
Nah, mate, it's the shittest thing I've ever had. Battery life. Seriously, like 2 puffs dead.
Is that bad?
Yeah. And then I got Nick Salts in that. I got Nick Salts. So that's the thing. That's the thing. I sound like Richard Vick now. And then also on my what's it called? Luxotic.
Yeah, from
But on
Westmac,
top,
isn't it?
but on top of that, I've got the new Karma with clear
Nice.
cap on. Karma is literally fucking awesome. I've never had a vape so smooth in terms of smoothness of airflow. Karma and the clear cap. I mean, it'll put a big dent in your wallet, but it's the only thing I bought really. Oh no, I didn't. I bought this as well.
You buy that from Jam?
Yeah, I bought Obi's Brew. And then the guys that do the battery wraps, ODB or whatever it is.
Yes.
Same company. That's nice. That's it just tastes like granola-y sort of thing. Anyway.
Oh, nice.
I want to say have it.
So you've had a good week, then, haven't you?
Nah, it's been a bit shit, mate. I just want to say hello to everybody that said hello in chat. That's all. That's all. I just want to say that. That's me done. See you later. Bye.
We've got a couple of regulars in chat, so that's pretty nice to see. I think somebody stole your name and your Pixel, their Pixie, but we think we'll get sort of on that line. So yeah.
Do you remember Pixie? What was his name? Pixie Vapes. Remember,
Yes,
he used to blow the cloud into the camera. He used to go. His sign off for every single review he did was "Now you see me." Now you don't.
I just saw you.
Yeah, I've seen a slight flaw in your plan.
Did we not rip him a new arsehole for that as well?
No, he was a nice guy. I think he started doing Twitch gaming videos or something. I don't know.
Oh, he's a chef, isn't he? Chef by trade.
I'm not sure. I ran out of caring by then.
Such an elitist prick.
There's nothing elitist about any of my setups.
Anyway,
Anyway,
attitude. I won't talk about the setup. I'll talk about the attitude.
Well, someone's got to do Paul's job. Someone's got to do Paul's job tonight. You're not capable. You're not capable. Every time I see you put a post up going, I'm a right massive cunt, or I'm gonna be a right cunt. I think I know Tom. He's trying too hard. That's what he's doing. He's a try hard. So what's that you're drinking?
I never put stuff up like that.
You have. What are you drinking? Coke?
Yes, I am on Coke. As Jasper.
Is that to go with your KFC bucket you had for lunch?
No, I didn't have KFC bucket for lunch. I had what did I have for dinner? Soup is what I had for dinner. Soup and a loaf of bread.
Soup. Right. This always confuses the fuck out of me. Who eats soup? Surely you drink it, right? You don't eat it. There's no chewing involved.
Bread with it, then becomes you don't
a food rather than a drink.
Yeah,
but you don't actually eat soup.
Yeah, because what if you're having like oxtail soup or chicken soup? It's not like tomato where it's just smooth. If you have a vegetable soup, it's got vegetables in it.
Yeah, but normally you blend it up, Tom. Not everybody's a savage like you.
Just a fucking whole chicken in the middle.
Yeah, I think that's called roast chicken, Tom. I think what you're drinking there is the dregs that have come off the chicken.
it's the gravy that I'm making that out. That's the stew.
Exactly. And coincidentally, if you snap Tom in half, gravy would come out.
No, it'd be rock.
Rock.
Yeah, it'd be rock. If you cut me in half, it's a big Tom in rock in like red and white rock.
Like Brighton rock.
Yeah. Sweet mate. Sweet.
There you
Too
go.
sweet.
What?
It's not been too busy this week. We've obviously got the new launch of the new liquid and stuff like that coming up. So I've been sort of massively promoting that, getting ready for Expo. Are you going to be at Expo?
No.
You only seem to do jam, don't you?
No, to be honest, like I don't really like too much time away from the shops. And I can't expect them to cover whilst I go out getting pissed. You know what I mean?
You did do Expo last year, though, did you?
Done October.
Right.
Yeah, because I got the Empress.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. You came. Did you come like the Sunday? Was it the Sunday you came or the Saturday?
Saturday.
You only came for the day, didn't you?
No, we drove down. We drove down Saturday morning and we stayed overnight and drove back Sunday.
Is it Jed?
Oh, no, we drove down Friday.
Is it Jed that you work with that on there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. So you didn't come down. I don't think you came down for the May one because you just moved up to Scotland, or you was in Scotland sorting the shop out.
We just opened up the shop.
Yeah. So that should be pretty fun. So we've got stuff dropping for Expo. We've got the new Emperor dropping for Expo. Hopefully, fingers crossed. We've got the AF Juice. The Wire should be here as well. So we've got a lot of things dropping at Expo. So that Expo should be lovely and busy.
You can't put all your eggs in one basket. I like it. I like the direction Endless is going. Is it all under the Endless brand, or is it all?
We've got the Wire. The Wire's going to be under the Endless brand, I believe. I think we're calling that Building. Obviously with the EM. Obviously the AF Juice is going to be its own entity, and then obviously we're releasing the new Emperor from obviously Endless. So there is certain ways we're going on a different direction, but we are also sticking with sort of the Endless brand as well. But the juice is totally different.
You need another juice line out now called Vapum.
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 I think if Paul's watching, he might be writing that down right now.
I don't think Paul will be watching. He'd be wondering what the fuck you're doing. He'd be like, well, why has he invited Riyadh on for one? Without Paul having creative control, and two, you just speak shit, Tom, all the time. Anyway,
I love you too for that. This is why I brought you on, because I love a good challenge.
A challenge.
Let's get to Vape Jam for the subject. Let's get to Vape Jam.
Well, hang on, what are you vaping on?
I'm vaping on the Emmy, and I've got the Birmingham Fog Custard Chucker.
Oh, I got my Emmy here, but it's a bit too cloudy to be.
Oh, that needs good clean. Does that, sir?
You're right, mate. It's
used.
Yes. Used is the correct term that I would use. Well done.
So tell us a little bit more about Jam then.
Did you get your license taken away for that? Anyway, just going back to the beginning.
No, but I want to know what you thought of the show. I want to know what you got up to. Did you actually really pay much attention to the show? Because I know the lads you went with. What did you think of the show? Did you think it was good? Do you think it was bad? Do you think they could improve? Do you think it's anything like Expo? Tell us what you think of the show.
On the whole, I thought the show was good. I thought the Frankie Q was a laugh. Again, every year, Frankie drama. You had some B2B people in there and some vendors in there queuing up before. But what they actually did is, because they had different coloured, what do you call it? Lanyards.
Yeah.
So green, I think, was like the 2-day pass or whatever it was for consumers, and they let the greens buy first, no matter where they were in the queue. No, they let the VIPs buy first, then the greens, because the VIPs could get in an hour earlier than the greens.
Right.
And apparently there were some vendors and B2B people swapping lanyards over for green ones, which is a bit, I don't know, who gives a fuck? It's a 3D prominent box. I've had one, you've had one. They're both, they work. Done. Who cares? I've gotten over it.
There's always drama around that sort of high-end gear, though, isn't there?
It's funny to watch. It really is funny to watch.
What sort of incidents went on then? So obviously, going back to that, what sort of stuff happened? Was people actually arguing in the queue and stuff like that?
No, there was 5 security there, just for that one queue. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I mean, the security done a good job. They kept it all calm, and I don't think there was too much butthurt. one of the guys I was speaking to was fourth in the queue when Paolo decided to shut the stand for the day down. Paolo's got it brilliantly. He just rocks up with his Frankies, sells them for half an hour, and then fucks off again. So you know.
So people were still in the queue when they was wanting to buy it, and obviously he shut the stand down. What is your opinion on that?
What he did? Well, actually, to be honest, he brings a certain amount.
Yes,
there could be a big chance that you would be Yeah, they didn't. Someone said Neil said in chat they didn't bring enough boxes, though. Yeah, well, they never do. They never do.
that's how you keep the hype alive.
That's half the fun. But the guy that I was speaking to that ended up in fourth, he wasn't too bad. He said it is what it is. I think he actually queued up Sunday and got one. But I mean, the problem is you got that right, and then you've got people like Benji from Ostrix Mods, who had fucking amazing half mods there, really good, like the S versions.
Yeah.
You got Bradley from Phobic Mods. You had American guy called Connor from Plug. He does the Plug.
Yeah,
he has some really nice double-dyed Plug tiger stripes and stuff like that. Why not just go to one of those guys? You know what I mean? They all work exactly the same way. Let's just get a reality check a little bit. But on the whole, Jam was good. The time I spent in there, I think on the first day I done 12,000 steps. I was doing it by steps, not by time in there.
So you had like the what the fuck is that meter called?
I don't know. I just had my phone in my pocket, but yeah.
Oh, you got one on your phone that tells you?
Yeah, you're on about a pedometer or something like that.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, no, I done like 12,000 steps, which equated to about an hour and a half, and the rest of the time in the pub. On the Saturday, I think I'd done like 7,000 steps, so I didn't stay in there long, 45 minutes, and the rest of the time in the pub. So I mean, if you want to go there and look at juice and hardware, then fine, you know. But I wasn't there for that. I was there purely to be social and drink. So I can't really comment on how good the show was. One thing I will say is myself and I can't remember who it was, but we went around looking for a sub tank for one of his friends. Like his friends that just started vaping but wanted to go into sub home. So he's looking for a sub tank. Couldn't find a sub tank fucking anywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
I've got a question about Jam, and I want your honest opinion on it. A very, very honest opinion. Professor Green.
Yeah.
He obviously released his own line of juices. That's correct, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is your opinion on celebrities sort of coming into this sort of industry and promoting electronic cigarettes when the majority of their fan base is children?
Well, I haven't got a problem with it. I mean, at the end of the day, he deals with a lot of issues. He's the one in Bournemouth. They put up some benches and they had bars on there to stop homeless people. We don't say tramps anymore, do we? Homeless people from sleeping on there. He was the one that went along and took all those bars off. Same with mental health. He's done a lot of work for mental health as well. I don't care. I don't think he's been very public about it in his music media sort of place.
Yes.
Very, very genuine, very nice guy. I met him. Spoke to him. Told him he looked like a lesbian with his bleach blonde hair. I didn't really say that. I didn't want to kick him. But yeah, and he does sort of vape. He's not a vapor. The story is, I think the owner of a vape shop moved into his complex or his house or something like that, and he was always vaping in it. And Professor Green, Stephen, as he's known, didn't like any of the smells that was coming off of it, so he designed his own range. I didn't try any. Got bored at that point.
You didn't try any, but you did beat him.
No, didn't try any.
So obviously, he's obviously was basing himself around around a different, sort of being a different character than he would play obviously in his musical career. But obviously, I saw everybody sort of taking pictures with him and stuff like that, which I don't mind. And obviously, somebody moving into a different venture, obviously, it's business. You know, as you said, he's not a vapor by heart. You know, I mean, he is a vapor through business.
But you said,
and I just wanted to know your obviously opinion of him being at that type of show promoting the product.
If it was fucking Rosie and Jim, Teletubbies or something, they're promoting the product, I'd have a bit of an issue. But I mean, if you look at a lot of his lyrics and stuff, they're quite explicit. Kids shouldn't be listening to that anyway. You know what I mean? He hasn't purposely gone out and got a fan base. And to be honest, what's he done in the last 5 years? From as far as I'm aware, not a lot. All his fan base would have grown up to be adults by now.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it was Postman Pat coming around with a Me One or whatever, I would probably have a little bit of an issue with that.
No, I get that. Obviously, it's not predominantly aimed at kids, but him as his character is sort of, his music is obviously not aimed at kids, but what sort of what I'm coming from. I know he's not been promoting it on his social media. Sort of, I've got this brand going and sort of pushing it in that direction. I just obviously wanted to know what you sort of thought of that situation. Me personally, business is business, and if that's the way he wants to go into a new venture and wants to enjoy that side of a business, then he's more welcome to do it. Because I believe personally that it would be quite good for him to speak out and say vaping is quite good because of the influence he does have on a lot of people. Yeah.
I mean, so someone, Claire said in chat, Sir Vaporlot interviewed him. Yeah, he did. He is a vapor. He's well, sort of. I'm still not convinced he is a full-time vapor. However, regardless, money is money at the end of the day. And it is his line. He's developed those flavors in terms of, like, he's given them the nod or not.
Yeah.
But...
yeah, I just thought if somebody had thought of, because let's be realistic, maybe if he hasn't done any music in a while, he's still an influencer. Do you know what I mean? He still influences people by his opinions.
Yeah.
So would it not be good for the people that are obviously promoting his liquid, selling his liquids, to turn around and get him to sort of publicly state that he's obviously got something to do with vaping and he's doing it for the better good?
Well,
it would be good.
That's one of his really good friends. Is a shop owner from Vaporizzo.
That's it, Vaporizzo. Yeah.
So yeah,
I just my opinion, just sort of he could do something huge. Do you know what I mean? As a celebrity, somebody who's an influencer could turn up. People have had stuff like they've had Lethal B go to Vape Jam. They've had Charlie Sloth for Expo and Vape Jam. You know, all these people are in the limelight. They are. Well, I won't class him as an A-list celebrity, but he's a celebrity nonetheless. So he's sort of very much an influencer on whatever he says. So people would follow him. And if he would turn around and say, guys, I am part of vaping. Vaping is good. You know what I mean? If you're a smoker, try and get off the smokes and, you know, sort of put the word out there for it.
Yeah, I mean, celebrity endorsement is always done well with everything else in the world. So why not? Why not vaping? I'm getting feedback off of you, by the way.
Oh, I'm echoing.
Hold on. Sorry, just keep the show going. Keep the show going whilst you're doing this. I shouldn't have to teach you this.
Just keep going. What's Colin said? Yeah, Tom. What about Charlie Slofford has been at the Expo and he's been to Vape Jam. Obviously he's there promoting a brand or whatever. I just thought that obviously going back to what I've already said is somebody of a celebrity status, you know, speaking out about vaping is actually very good for the industry.
Yeah, I think Charlie Sloth, that was his own line as well.
I'm sure he's maybe had a line, but I saw in his recent video, he did a video for Crep Protect, which is a sneaker company, a trainer company, and he was vaping in that video as well. At the beginning of the video, he's actually vaping.
There you go. Bonus.
There we go. So your roundup was you spent not much time in the show, but outside the show getting drunk and you enjoyed yourself.
The Fox at the Excel. Good pub. Right next door. Lovely little Italian. Well, it's quite a big Italian. Lovely pizza. Then where do we go? Saturday night we went out for Chinese. There's 13 of us. The bill was over 500 quid. It was like, what? Never mind.
Jesus.
Never mind. So 40 quid each basically for a little bit of Chinese. And it's under this pressure. You know, you go to Chinese, you and your partner or whatever. And you order like set menu B, please, which is normally like the you get the little platter at the beginning, you get the duck, and then you get like 4 main courses or whatever to share. But there's 13 of us that ordered all the same thing. So I'm damn sure they fucking cut down a little bit. They just cut it down a little bit. Instead of giving them 2.5 ducks, fuck it, we give them 2 ducks. And you know, I can't help but feel cheated. And they didn't want to accept my Scottish money, but you know, that's another issue altogether.
Sounds like you had a fucking great time. So we'll move on to the next subject, mate, which is sort of on the same line, sort of what we were saying about pro green. It's obviously, I put down here, obviously increase or decrease in people using vaping to quit cigarettes. Do you believe that that is a thing still, that people obviously starting vaping to quit smoking, or do you think we're on the lines of it's cool, people endorse it, let's do it, let's try it?
Do you know what? You're bang on time with this, by the way, because he's got in the show notes 8:30 to 8:45. So don't worry, this might be a boring little segment, but it's only going to last quarter of an hour. You're bang on time with this. I can't believe it. Yeah, just cut you off and move on. Anyway, what was the question again? I'll read it. Hang on, I'll read it. I got the notes.
Just saying about the increase or decrease in people actually using vaping for quitting smoking.
What do you mean by increase or decrease? So do you mean
are we seeing an influx in vapors, converted vapors, or are we seeing a decrease in converting vapors that are wanting to move from cigarettes to vaping? Or are we seeing an influx in people who've never smoked who like to vape because it's cool, or kids are sort of seeing an appeal to it? How do you see it going, especially from being a store owner and you predominantly go for people with starter kits, because that's obviously your side of the business that you enjoy getting people off the smokes, and that's where you sort of frame your business off. Are you still seeing a massive influx of people quitting because the smoke, or are you see people coming in because they've seen John down street who vapes and they've never smoked in their life?
I think we've got a lot of help in this country, these countries. Let's not forget there's a couple of countries in the United Kingdom under the NHS, a couple, 4 to be exact. If you want me to name them, I can name them, because I'm damn sure you don't know them. Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, right, and England. Anyway, so the NHS are starting to get behind it and backing it, and which is a good thing. I'm hearing less and less. I mean, it used to be almost sort of a couple of times a week someone would come in about popcorn lung and bullshit like that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's more harmful. We're getting that less and less, a lot less. So people are starting to know the facts, which is brilliant. It still needs a massive drive from the NHS, though. Still needs to push, like. But I think that's going to be in the future. Not so long-term future. I think it should be pushed out. But it's very hard to gauge, because I mean, increase and decrease. Because obviously in the boom, you might have had 50,000 people converting over in like 6 months. Whereas now you might have 30,000 people converting over in 6 months. You know what I mean? It's hard to gauge.
Yeah, definitely. I know what you're saying.
It's steady. It's steady.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. I think it's just been on a state. It's not gone. I mean, initially it went, and then now it's gone. And I think it's just steady there.
It's like a gradual sort of increase rather than a massive decrease.
Yeah, because I mean, the biggest way of getting people into vaping is word of mouth. And, you know, Joe Bloggs down the road, 60-year-old bloke, been smoking all his life, goes on a vape, he's given up for a week. Boom, there you go. He tells all his friends and family, and they might be smokers, and then they start vaping, and then boom. But I don't think it's gone. I think it's just a nice steady incline. Otherwise, I mean, fuck me, we were stuck on the 2 million people vaping in this country for about 5 years. That was the only
2.2
statistic we
million
had.
vapors.
Yeah, now what? 2.8 they're saying now. So it's not massive leaps and bounds, but it's still an increase.
Yeah, because they're saying that the stat for smokers is 10 million in the UK. That's the stat. So if you take that stat away from 5 years ago, technically there should be around about 9 million smokers in the UK. So obviously we're still growing. We've obviously moving forward with appealing vaping to smokers, but there is a massive influx, I believe, in kids.
Yeah, I mean, starters kits is our biggest seller. It's by far T20S. Boom, done. It's cheap enough. It's affordable. I mean, the thing you get is people get the mentality, right? They're not sure on vaping. They don't know if it works, so they're not of the mentality of I buy 20 packs, 20 cigarettes a day, which costs me £10 a day, so that costs me 70 quid a week. Now, if I go out and buy an e-cigarette or a vape, let's say, or a starter kit, I don't really want to use e-cigarette, but then that's going to be 30 quid on top of that. So then that now makes it £100 because the e-cigarette might not work. Whereas if they went in balls deep, confident, knowing, then they know they'd be saving 40 quid initially on the first week. And then every week after that, what is it, £10 a week? And then when your call runs out, £2.50, boom, done, lovely jubbly. Stick it up. Anyway, where's Rick's shop? Denny, we got one in Denny and one in Kilsyth. And then hopefully have our third some point June, July. Hopefully some point then. But we don't know when that third one's going to be yet.
I will explain the AF stuff later on, Claire. I'll get that to you, and I'll let you know how that works. So that's been a little bit of a quiet subject, that one, really, wasn't it?
We do quiet in terms of it took us 5 minutes to get.
I just think that just for me personally, there's a lot of things in the industry that, especially increasing and decreasing, obviously, of cigarette smokers turning into vapors and sort of the appealing to children, as we've sort of changed all the logos and everything hasn't got to be appealing on the labeling of juice and stuff like that. But it's sort of in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, well, I started smoking when I was young. You know, there's got to be some sort of appealing there, because let's be realistic. It's sort of, I don't know if you're the same as me, but when I started smoking, it was peer pressure from friends and people who smoked around me as kids. Sort of, I don't see where there could be a sort of peer pressure to vape. It's something in my mind doesn't let me agree with how could you be a peer pressure to vape custard. It just seems appealing.
As an adult, I think it's completely mad, and we see it quite often in the shops that people will start smoking. Because I always ask the question, I'm like, when did you start? Just out of curiosity. It doesn't bear no difference on what we want to provide to them. And the amount of people that started as adults that knew everything to do with cigarettes is mind-boggling. Why, as an adult, would you start, for one? And then two, smoking was never glorified, never ever. There was nothing fancy on the packets. You just smoked to be a rebel, and like you said, peer pressure, right? But if you would have been told you'd walk around smelling like a fucking dirty twat, you stink, you never get a girlfriend, and you most likely die of cancer, would you start? would you, really?
No, I don't think you would. But it's then as I said about you thinking about you probably had people like this, and I've heard of people like this, but people that start vaping and they've never smoked. don't get me wrong, and I'm not going to get into the argument that if you've never smoked, you shouldn't vape. That's not my argument. My argument is not that you're not. If you're an adult and you have your own mindset, and if you want to pick up a fag or you want to pick up a vape, and you've never done that, then that's your choice to do that. I'm not. That's not my argument. My argument is that I just don't understand why you would want to do either.
Well, I mean,
if you've never done it.
You got to look at it like this. I'm just trying to think of the best way to word this. I'm trying.
I get that people do that. I totally understand that people have that choice to do that. People, when they're 18, turn around and never drank before, and they go out in town and get absolutely pissed out the fucking face. We've all done that. But there might be a few people that haven't.
We've covered this many and many times when we used to do vape talk. Kids are going to do what they want to do. There's no way of stopping them. You can't keep them on a leash 24/7 unless you're Fritzl. So what are you going to do? If they want to vape, they're going to vape. As long as the shops are being responsible and you know the websites are being responsible and doing the checks they can. I know it's very hard on an online side of thing. I mean, we got a Challenge 25 policy in our shop, and we've had trading standards in each of our shops asking about our Challenge 25 thing, and we do have like a little refusals register, which every time a minor comes in and asks for an e-cigarette and we refuse them, we have to log it as well. Do
you think a lot of people should do that though, Rick? Do you think that should be an increase in vape shops?
I think that is a requirement. It's definitely a requirement in Scotland.
Right.
I think
but as self-regulated, do you not think that should be something that should be statutory? Because I don't think that's statutory in England.
It should 100% be statutory. But I mean, that's not the problem. I'd hope to think 100%. I know it's not 100% of vape shops to be responsible. I mean, when you were younger, there was always a corner shop that you could buy a pack of fags from, right? Like when you're 13, 14 years old. It's going to be the same with vaporizers, but online has changed the world. You know what I mean? If kids want to get hold of something, the whole world's just been made a lot easier. Just order it from their dad's Amazon account or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, they're going to do what they want to do. Packaging, obviously, someone's put on. Oh shit, my mouse is gone. Packaging has been covered. I can't find my mouse. I've lost my mouse. Is that it? I got it. Yeah. Packaging is obviously covered to death as well.
Yeah, and which a lot of people have obviously through the requirements have changed, and it's not very often, if at all, you see packaging that appeals to kids.
Mate, we saw some shocking stuff at Jam. There was a wonky juice, which was the same as Willy Wonka's logo. There was Tilt, which was exactly the same as the Lilt logo. Packaging still needs to be addressed. But at the same time,
to me, when you say stuff like that, do you know where I go straight away and what I think straight away? As soon as you tell me something like that is, I think
in your back room to have a wank.
What are the show organisers thinking? I'm not thinking.
Yeah, but they can't. I mean, to be honest, at the time when the show goes live, they can walk around and just say, "Oi, that's not good." But before the show, they don't know what people are going to bring, really, do they?
Yeah, but trading for me, like I get that people don't understand what people are going to bring, and obviously you can't really monitor everybody, especially being no show organisers super busy. But there is going to be a time where trading standards are going to walk through that door and they're going to go, well, that's not fucking right, that's not right, that's not right, that's not right, and then they'll end up being shut down. What sort of press does that give vaping?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, trading standards aren't going to give a fuck about a ticket. They're just going to walk in, right?
Yeah,
it is a legal requirement in the UK as well. There you go. And then there's a couple of people they've got that in their shops. It's the refusals register. There is a link actually, so you can actually download it. Everything's free. All the posters and stuff is free. But it's definitely handy to have, and we always have camera backup anyway. We got a camera that's permanently on record. So if we do have a minor come in, we take that section. Because I don't know about your area, but I know kids can get funny if they get refused, and they could probably go, "E-sold me an e-cigarette." So we like to cover ourselves at every single angle possible.
Yeah, to me that's the best way, and you are definitely self-regulating as well, and obviously making sure that you guys are going by the regulated line and sort of also over adhering to that, because then you are putting stuff like that into place to say, well, we've got a camera there and we can take the clip out of the camera when the child come in or the person underage and we refuse their sale. So that's definitely sort of adhering over what you should be doing.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to. As long as you've got a refusals register, then that's fine. As long as you're refusing or even asking people that look under 25, that's a difficult point, because being a 36-year-old bloke, I don't fucking know what an 18-year-old looks like now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. Yeah,
I can't tell their age, so you have to ask. But no one's got funny about it yet, apart from. Oh my god! I had no older than 13-year-old schoolgirl come and kill Scythe. They're ballsy as fuck. There, come and kill Scythe, and she said, "Oh, how much are e-cigs?" And I'm like, "Can you please leave, because you're not supposed to be in here." And she's like, "Oh, but I'm 18." I'm like, "You're obviously not. You're still wearing a school uniform." She goes, "Now I go to college," and I'm like, "No, you don't. Get out." And she went, fucking shit customer service in here. I'm like, what? They know. They can't be touched. They can't be touched at all. You know what I mean? And they know this. They know they can get away with shit. I had one young kiddie push the door open a little crack so I couldn't see his face, going, "Wanker, you're a wanker, wanker." I just sat there, carried on looking at my laptop, but. So it's best to ignore this. You know, there's always one person that got egged or something on a housing estate. If you're the twat that reacts to these kids, then you're the one that's going to get fucking shit.
Yeah, of course. There's definitely boundaries you have to take, obviously, with being a shopkeeper. You know what I mean? You know, you can. We was probably the twats that fucking egged someone back in the day.
Mind you, saying that, I had one of our regulars in, because I sat at the shop and a young kiddie walked in. And he had a bag of sweets. He goes, "You want a sweet, mate?" And I went, "No, thanks. You're going to have to leave, please." He went, "Why?" And our regular just turned around in his Scottish tones and just went, "Look, mate, fuck off or I'll do you." And he did. The kiddie just walked out.
Oh, wow. I'm going to jump over the next subject because I think that might take the longest, but I'm going to go
on. You're right on 45 minutes past as well. Is that the time?
Bang on.
Yeah. Oh, fuck me, not this one.
I want to get it. No, I'm going to jump over that one because I think that might take a while.
Okay.
So I want to jump on, as once again, from sort of being a shop owner and yourself of obviously products and stuff like that. Does everything sell on how it looks? Does aesthetics really mean anything, especially with yourself? Sort of, what would your customers, are they fussed about how it looks? Do you get women coming in and going, "Can I have it vajazzled and shit?" You know? Does everything sell in our community from the way it looks? Do you think that's a massive part of it?
The majority, it is a big part of it. Like the T20S kits, all the women want a purple one, because they don't do them in pink. Some don't give a fuck, actually, to be honest. The older generation don't tend to give a fuck. It tends to be sort of the youngers. The youngers, listen to me. The youngins tend to care more. However, I mean, it depends what you're talking about. If you're talking about starter kits, I don't think they really care too much. If you're talking about higher end stuff or sub-owned stuff, yeah, I think of course they care. Of course, why wouldn't they? Otherwise, everybody would release a mod that looks like you're holding a turd in your hand. In fact, actually, any mod maker out there, do me a mod that looks like a turd, please, or just a sleeve for a mod that looks like a poo.
That looks like turd. Yeah, but do you think we've come into sort of a stage in the industry where it doesn't really matter what it fucking performs like? If it looks fucking good, then it'll sell.
Absolutely. I mean, you've seen how much Smock sells.
Yeah.
And and it is a hugely popular brand. I don't like it. Like, I don't like the way a lot of them look. But at the same time, if it sells, I'd rather they buy it from me than someone else.
Yeah, definitely.
But I mean, you know, Jay's on it. He's making me a mod that looks like a poo. Nice. I don't want your. I don't even know how to put that. I don't want your shit just molded around a mod and then you send it in the post. But yeah, Smok is a prime example. A lot of people. It's the same as cars, right? You wouldn't buy a car if it looks shite unless you had no other choice.
I get that. I get to a certain degree that stuff has to be aesthetically pleasing. I get that. I just think that performance and affordability and reliability is very much overlooked because of the way it looks. That's what a reason a lot of people would purchase a mod. And chat can tell me I'm wrong if they want to tell me I'm wrong. But I believe that everything else is sort of looked over as long as it looks good. A lot of the time.
Yeah, I mean, we do get some performance junkies coming in wanting to sub-ohm on 300 watts and whatnot. And what's the options for that? Not a lot.
Yeah.
Four battery RX maybe, or whatever it was.
That's a niche market, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's still basing it on looks.
I get that stuff has to look good. But
it doesn't look good though. The full battery looks fucking. Again, it looks like I've just did a massive log. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I mean, that to me doesn't necessarily look good. I mean, it's had its day. Oh, branding. But it works. I'm starting to care less about looks. I mean, fuck me, look at that. That is the worst thing you'll ever see in your life.
Yeah, that is definitely fucking disgusting.
Right. I picked that up at Jam and he said, what colour do you want? And I looked at the colour, so what? I have the gold one.
You actually saw it and wanted it, so you actually chose it because you like the look of it.
I wanted it because it looked the shittest out of the lot.
But do you think we should move away as an industry from because it looked good, it sells? Or is that just the way it's got to be?
No, life would be boring, wouldn't it? If everything looked the same. It would be very boring.
I get that. I just, me personally, I'm always thinking about the way the industry's been in fucking what we've been in the industry. What now? I'm in like 6 years. You're same as me. You're maybe a year behind me, if that. And I just feel that, there's certain things that we can advance in vaping, and big manufacturers, like you say, like Smok and stuff like that, are using the same chip, using the same technology in 20 different mods, just making it look different.
But changing the form factor. But at the same time, if there's a demand for it, then one. Carl Pilkington done an analogy. It's like he was talking about twins, and it doesn't get the fascination of when you're with one twin, you always want to sleep with the other twin. It doesn't get that fascination. Her name was Julie. His name was Dave, right enough. But no, no, identical twins. When you got identical twins, there's always a fascination or a fantasy that they. When you're with one twin, you want to sleep with the other twin. And he always says, well, basically, you'd be doing the same thing. So why not move on to someone completely different, right?
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's a great analogy, that, actually.
Everybody wants the next big thing. Well, not everybody, but, people want the next thing, the next cool thing. And there's features like the mag. Oh, God, do I hate the mag. The mag, with the push button and the magazine comes out. Makes a good sound right now. You push the button, it comes out like a magazine.
It's a battery sled.
Put your batteries, you go like that and put it back in, yeah. But however, we sold loads of them purely because of that feature. You hold it up to someone, you go, look, and it comes out, and they're like, However, that one's £1 million. That one's 65. The T-Priv with the tank, that one's 65. That one's £1 million. And they pick the £1 million one every day, because the magazine just falls out. I don't know. It's really annoying. But
no, I get that. I get that. The form factor of that, obviously, people do chase the next best thing, and they want something that is aesthetically pleasing to them, not necessarily everybody else, but to them. It just confuses me the way that the industry is trying to move forward with technology, yet we're holding ourselves back because it's the same technology, just in a different design.
Yeah, well, it's not holding it back at all. I don't think. I think.
Do you think it? Do you think it's
Hang
sort
on.
of?
Give it 1 second, Jenna. Yeah. Can you make me a coffee, please? Thanks. No, I could hear the kettle in the background.
No, I just think that trying something different is not necessarily the norm.
I don't. Yeah, but people try to innovate. That's the problem. Well, it's not the problem, but people try to innovate in the wrong places. Like someone just put the Avenger voice control. What the fuck's that all about?
Yeah, but to me, that's a joke. That's just a joke. You know what I mean? It's technology, but battery technology is not moving.
No, I mean we had
like
the brief spell of the 2700s or whatever, but the 18650s work great. Why would you change it?
That is another thing. Obviously, why change something that works? You know what I mean? Why replace something that's not broken? I get that 100%. I get that. I'd just like to see a little bit more sort of minds working on something different.
Yeah, but if there's a demand, they're supplying a demand. There is a demand for different styles and stuff. I mean, all right, Smok's a very bad example because they do use the same chip. Same board. It's a board, not a chip. Same board and everything.
Into that fucking debate.
I mean, if you look at like Vupu with their board that they've got in their new Squonker, and then I believe Vandy Vape have changed their board now to their own board, right?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go. It's pushed them to make their board better. That's cool, right? Thank you very much.
Yeah, but it took a shit situation to do that. What's this, Neil? Do you know what the Lustro is? I don't know what the Lustro mod is.
The what?
Lustro.
How do you spell that?
What about the infrared function on the Lustro?
Infrared.
Please explain a little bit more. Lustro.
I'll tell you what I'm going to develop. You look up the Lustro. I'm going to develop a mod, right? And it's purely going to be for hotel rooms. So it's going to be fuck all vapor. It's going to have a UV light so you could check for sperm on the bed sheets. It's the new Asmodus mod. Is that the Squonker? Asmodus Lush.
One of the standout elements of the Lustro is the inclusive of IR infrared sensor that allows for a function-free hand method of control.
A function-free hand method of control. What does that even mean?
Does not require the user to touch the screen to interact with the device.
Oh, fuck off.
Turning your everyday vaping session into something that you would see in a sci-fi movie simply by waving your hand in front of the device. You may navigate through the menu or firing modes.
Yeah, but you're gonna get. Who changes their fire mode?
That is a fad. That is not innovation at all. That is a fad.
Who changes their firing mode though? Who does? Once you got it set up, it's set up, right? No one changes it unless you put another coil in. So imagine people walking around jam like this.
But you imagine you put your mod on the table and someone walks past and goes, fuck this, I'm going to make it auto fire, and starts fucking jamming the hand in front of me. You know what I mean? Some bastard is going to go, fuck him, I don't like him. Look at his coils. Fucking look at this.
disco, rave.
That just says cunt on it. That's what that mod says. It just says cunt on it.
Was that you, Rick, on Saturday night, setting off. No, it wasn't. No, they were going off Friday night as well. Friday night and Saturday night. That wasn't me. I was mouth to lunging.
The Lustro that as modus mod you wave your finger at the screen, it's stupid. Well, as we've mentioned, do the fuck odds to go like this? Do it Macarena to turn it on.
Yeah. If I wanted to do that, I'd go get Just Dance for the PlayStation or something.
But that to me, Rick, is that sort of feature is exactly the same as how much of a flop temp control was. It's pointless. Look how many mods you see that don't have temp control on.
Do you remember when we done that Snow Wolf review?
Yes.
And I put the cotton in and I pushed the button and it just went woof.
That dry cotton, wasn't it?
Yeah, there you go. I was going to say that as well. Yeah, it's basically the Kinect of mods. You know, the Kinect that they had on Xbox.
You need to wave your hands in front of your eyes quite quickly. Otherwise, if you do it slow speed through the menu system. I like the one with the laser. See, that's another thing. Who puts the laser on a mod? Have you seen that new mod that's got the lights on it? When you blow an O, you can put your light underneath it.
I think the biggest piece of shit that's ever come out recently is Smock's coils with LEDs in it. Have you not seen them?
LEDs in the coils?
In the coil. So when you press the fire button, obviously the voltage goes through the coil, but it also goes to the LEDs.
What the fuck?
Why? Who cares? Who cares? Move on. It's time to move on now, Tom. Who cares?
It's not time to move on when you're telling me there's an LED light in the middle of a coil.
Not in the middle. I think they put them around the side. Let's Smock. Just type in Smock LED coils. Right. Light edition sub-ohm tank. Light your tank. Yeah, so I think you have to get a specific tank for it.
And it lights the tank up.
Yeah, I'm watching a video now. I am.
The iJoy Genie has an LED torch on the mod as well.
Oh, do you know?
Why can it not just fucking vape? That is my argument. Why can it not just work perfectly? Not fuck up and not just fucking do all these light and dancing fucking shit. Why can it not just be a mod? You put batteries in and it works.
Because
that is the main problem with Smock products, and we all know Smock products, the paint either flakes off it or it fucks after 6 months.
Paint's not too bad these days. And to be honest, we've got a customer that ran over their T-Priv with a digger and it still lives.
No way.
The T-Priv is actually well made. Well made.
Limitless XL tank has LEDs in the coil too. I just don't see the need for it.
At what point when it gets to your mouth do you need to see the tank? At what point? Like here, right? Let's do it with this. I can see the tank. I can see the tank. I can see the tank. Can't see the tank anymore. See the tank. The tank.
It is the most fucking pointless thing ever, and I just feel that we're moving in the wrong direction, and that's probably my main aim of this subject. Is that I feel like shit like that is just moving us in the wrong direction of where we actually should be.
That's because no one has a clue as to what the next big thing is. No one ever does. I mean, the person that invented the spinner, she sat on that idea for like 5 years. She made one for herself and she sat on that idea for 5 years. What? So no one knows what the, now it's huge for like a week, but no one knows what the next big thing is going to be. So people keep trying bits. I think it's great that people keep trying bits. Yeah, let's do something where we wave our hand in front of it. It's not going to sell, but let's do it. And let's do light up coils. It might, it'll sell more coils eventually. However, what I will say is if you're driving and you got a light up coil, that's going to draw attention to you.
Yeah, of course. That's why they had the function on like the DNA to turn the screen off and shit.
It's gonna look like you're on a mobile phone because it's gonna give you the glare. You know what I mean? If the police are driving past, they see a device in your hand and it's glowing right next to your face.
Yeah, it's a mobile phone straight off, isn't it? And then people complain that they got pulled over for using a mod that had fucking LED lights in it. So
It's
I
like
don't
this.
know on that one, Rick. I just think we've got a lot of places we can go with the technology, the industry, and everything like that. I just feel like, and this is not like saying certain companies are doing this, certain companies are doing that. I mean, just sort of stuff like that isn't needed, and it's selling because it is sort of a niche thing.
It's selling because it's there.
Yeah, and it's got such a name behind it. Let's be realistic.
But you know, that's just another thing.
So let's get into a little bit deeper. Let's talk about this.
How deep are we going?
How deep we're going to delve deep. We're going to go deep. We're going to talk about ICOS, Vapor Magazine, and the YouTube drama. If anybody doesn't know, I'll just run the story first of all, just to say, just a shortened story. Basically, Vapor Magazine ran a 2-page article on the ICOS. If you don't know what the ICOS is a device that is used for heating a product, which is tobacco, and is currently being sold in a few expos and being sold around the world as something new, a new technology, heating tobacco rather than burning tobacco. The reason I'm mentioning this story as well is because there's obviously been a little bit of drama with some of the YouTube reviewers sort of saying they didn't like the fact that Vapor Magazine, who's a Vapour, it's a vape magazine, is promoting tobacco products. And another reason why I wanted to talk about this as well is because Rick is one of the very first people, he doesn't like me saying the first, but one of the very first people to encounter ICOS as they came into his shop. He had a video that was on Facebook and went pretty viral, if I'm quite honest. It did have quite a number of thousands of views.
50-ish, I think, 50,000.
So I want to know, what is your thoughts, not necessarily first of all about the drama, but what is your thoughts on the ICOS first of all, Rick?
ICOS is heat not burn, which we're hearing a lot more about these days. Heat not burn. So it is basically a cigarette that's more tightly rolled and soaked in PG. Right?
So it is tobacco rolled in PG. Is that
yeah, basically. Yeah, tobacco rolled really tight into a cigarette and then soaked in PG. Right? Now,
yeah.
The main point is, one, it's tobacco. Two, the most annoying thing is they're grasping onto the vaping statistics of being 95% safer. But however, if you I know I did a video, and the main video was pointing out that this ICOS rep didn't have a clue what he was fucking talking about. But the more we give this traction, the more leverage they have. Right? If people stop talking about it, and I'm going to go into this YouTube drama, two certain reviewers, if one's quite popular, the other one never even heard of. If they didn't make their videos, I know, I get it. Okay, they were angry. They were being righteous about it and stuff like that. I said, well, to be honest, we all should. But if they didn't make their videos, it wouldn't have hit hardly anybody.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. So by slagging off ICOS and the magazine and stuff like that, they're creating more traction for the brand.
Yeah, as we all say, bad press is no. You know what I mean? No press is bad press.
No, go on. Say the correct saying.
No press is bad press.
No such thing as bad press.
You know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. But that's what I get. What you're saying on that lines of things. But going sort of speaking on the levels of ICOS itself, do you not believe that people should know it's out there and what they're promoting? And this is sort of playing the devil's advocate, sort of. The guys, yes, they did give a lot of attraction to sort of what ICOS was, but do you not believe we, as vapors, people should know what ICOS is?
Not necessarily. As long as you do your research, if you're looking into buying one, then that's fair enough. I mean, Paul Arthur just said, wouldn't it need a tobacco license if a sale is given its content? I believe you do, and I believe it has to be screened off because it is, at the end of the day, a cigarette.
Yes, it does, yeah.
But at the same time,
the reason why I'm saying this is the reason why I'm saying, do you not think we should know what it is? Because they have and are going to shows.
it's a booth like that in a world like that.
It's still. I get you. They are basically wolves in sheep clothing. I get that. They're a big fucking entity, and they're going to expos with a small booth, looking to be a small company and everything like that. We damn well know it's owned by Philip Morris, which is one of the biggest tycoons in the fucking world.
They actively promote the fact that they've spent billions on the development of this. Now, to be honest, if we stopped giving it fucking traction, then Philip Morris wouldn't get his billions back from ICOS.
Yeah.
If we stopped giving it traction. At the same time, it is what it is. It's something out there. It is developed.
Yes, but they're using loopholes, aren't they? They're using loopholes like tobacco cannot be promoted, especially in fucking magazines. And they're in a fucking magazine and it's a tobacco product. So they're using certain loopholes to get around it by saying they're heating it, not burning it.
But it's something developed for harm reduction. Do I like it? No. Do I think it'll work? No. Will it still smell of fags? Yes. Will you still get the same chemicals? I believe there'll be a reduction in the chemicals you're getting, but you still get chemicals. There's been no active tests on it, as far as I know, from independents. Obviously, the Philip Morris's scientists have done their research and stuff, and take that with a pinch of salt. But you're not going to stop it. That's the thing. You're not going to stop it because he's got billions upon billions upon billions of pounds. You're never going to stop it. Just shut up about it, and they'll fizzle out.
Do you think they will fizzle out though? Do you generally think they would fizzle out?
In the e-cigarette circles, yeah, of course.
But they've got no other way of promoting it, sort of any other way apart from in that industry.
Of course they have. Of course they have. Just stick it in every single garage in the country.
Yeah, no, I get that, and they can do that. They can happily do that. But there's obviously got to be a alternative motive why they're coming into the vape industry and trying to bring it to the vape industry.
Well, I mean,
they could have happily gone and just released this product, sat it in garages and sold it exactly the same as cigarettes and made probably a stupid amount of money off it. But they're actually bringing it towards vapors and not making it appealing to vapors, because a lot of everybody sort of, what I'm getting is sort of saying, fuck off, we don't want you. But there's definitely a reason they're bringing it towards that crowd of people.
They're hitting the wrong target market. They're potentially trying to hit people that are already vaping. I mean, if you look at like the magazine, for example, that the article was in, how many people that don't vape have ever heard of that magazine? How many people that don't vape has ever read that magazine? And how many times have you walked into a vape shop and read a vape magazine if you're in there to buy a starter kit?
You're not, are you?
I'm not defending ICOS at all. I think it's a shitty product, and I really don't recommend it to anybody. However, I will take my paycheck. Thank you, Mr. Morris. No, I just, it's not needed, but at the same time, what's the point of getting all arsey about it? It's going to happen whether you like it or not. Nothing's going to stop it. All right, the magazine made a mistake. They issued an apology. They also.
Do you think it was thought over by the magazine, moving forward towards the magazine releasing that article? And obviously,
possibly not. I mean, they did state that they didn't take any money for the article. It wasn't an advertorial. Do you know what? Whether you believe them or not, that's completely up to you and down to you. But I mean, by the YouTubers that went absolutely mental, and you know, if they want to do that, that's their choice and their opinion to do so. But by the YouTubers that went absolutely ballistic at them, all you've done is created more traction. You've given them a foothold. But they actually made an accusation of the magazine taking money for that. Now, when they issued the apology, they mentioned about a couple of YouTubers being slanderous. I don't know. It's all fucking messy. At the end of the day, Tom, who fucking cares? not me. Not me.
And I get that, and I get that now. Probably a lot of people don't care, but I always come back to sort of thinking, and this is not me defending the YouTubers in any slight way or anything. Obviously, they're very passionate at what they do, and we know that's a fact. They are very passionate, and obviously they want the correct information to be out there, and obviously don't want that information out there at all. But then again, as you've said that they've caused a lot of traction towards that. A lot of people who didn't know what the fuck it was now know what it is. And I get that. But then on the other half, flip side of that, I'm thinking, well, I think people should know what it is, because for all we know, because I don't stand around the ICOS booth when I go to fucking shows. All I know is they're saying it's a vaping device.
Definitely, but in a well-informed, educated environment, of course, not just throwing fucks and shits and bollocks into the equation. I mean, I don't like ICOS. I'll never ever stock ICOS, but it will not go away. That's the simple answer. Question: why do the organisers allow these people to vape expo, etc.?
That's the hard one, because we're not the organisers, so that's a very hard question.
In fact, do you know what? I befriended one of the organisers over the weekend. I could ask him the question actually, and ask, because at the end of the day, it is not a vaping device. That's like letting people sell dry herb vaporizers in there, which I believe has happened in the past, right?
They're every year. They're there every year.
But it's Vape Jam and Vape Expo. ICOS shouldn't have a place there. Mind you, if it's any consolation, I didn't see one person on their stand in the 2 hours I spent in the show.
But that we know for a fact that them going to the show is pennies. Is a you know what I mean? It's nothing. They can go to every show worldwide and it's nothing. It's pennies. So to me, sort of them being there is definitely still giving them the peg up for people to know that they actually exist. Because as you said, people are not just YouTubers are saying this about them and whatnot. It's on Facebook. People go to show and be like, why the fuck are ICOS there? For instance, like we're speaking about it. We're speaking about it because it's news. You know, we're saying we don't agree with it, but to a certain extent, what can we do about it? Unless we boycott the expo and not go to the expo through that instance, there's nothing going to happen about it, because at the end of the day, it's business. And if it's got nothing to do with my business and not necessarily the same as Rick, I don't seem to give a fuck.
But there's ways to approach a subject there. You can't. Everybody loves a rant, especially Paul. but why not, right? And I believe, obviously, everybody knows drama creates views, drama creates subscribers. There's no question about that. We all know that. It's happened in every industry. In every YouTuber's got a bit of drama, which boosts their fame, right? So, I mean, that's the answer. Is why would you not write them like the magazine that published the article, a nicely calm worded email saying, look, I don't agree with this, blah, 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 blah. See what their response is, and then make a video, a well-informed video, you know, rather than making accusations and throwing shit out there and slinging mud, basically. Why? Yeah. I mean, to be honest,
like Sean said, it's a principle thing. Yeah, definitely it's a principle thing, without a doubt, and it's definitely a moral thing as well. Because as Rick said, it's called Vapor Expo or Vape Jam. They're not a vaping product, so why the hell are they there? But then, as Rick said as well, vaporizers, you know, dry herbal vaporizers. Well, we're vaping. We're supposed to be getting off cigarettes, but technically that is actually a vaping device. Whether you're vaping e-liquid or you're vaping marijuana or weed, you're still vaping that product.
Did you just call it marijuana?
Marijuana.
Wagwan.
For me personally, I care about them being there and they shouldn't be at the shows. And morally, I don't think they should be there because of that. But at the end of the day, this industry is big business. And that is the whole point of it. They're there for business.
If we stop talking about it, then they'll have no leverage in this industry. Yeah, they'll find their own little niche pocket. And do you know what? ICOS isn't going to be the last.
Oh, definitely not. But they're getting 25,000 people's pair of eyes looking at their stand as they walk past. So that's 25,000 more people knowing what that product is, or at least seeing.
I'm not sure where you pulled that statistic from. It's probably for your ass because.
No, Expo had last year 25,000 people over the weekend. So if you think you at least half to maybe 3/4 of the people walked past that stand last year. And we know a vendor that was moved because they didn't agree with that product.
Would you say at least half to what?
3/4
of a million.
Half to 3/4 of the people saw that stand.
Oh, I thought you said half to 3/4 of a million. I was like,
no,
need to work out your maths.
Half of the people saw that stand. That's what I mean.
I don't know. I spent my time on the fairground rides.
And probably at the boozer, but that's not the point.
No, not at Expo.
They're still getting, whether we speak about it or not, they're allowed to be at these shows, whether it's morally right, and I don't think it's morally right, but that's just my opinion. People are still able to see what that product is, and for all we know, people could go and go, Google ICOS, what's ICOS? Or while they're there, get the phones out, ICOS, what is ICOS? Or even worse, go over and try it. Do you know what I mean? For me, I'm saying yes, we shouldn't speak about it, and I agree to 100%. The majority of we speak about it, and it gets more press over Facebook than them doing it themselves. I get that, 100% get that. I just, in the back of my mind, I'm wanting more people to know about it so they fucking stay clear of it.
I would rather just do what I do. They could do what they do. You know what I mean? It's like, Craig Harrison couldn't have been the bumper cars. It fucking was the bumper cars, mate. I know that because James Burr paid for me to go on them.
You went on the bumper. Do you think there's going to be bumper cars this year?
Again, couldn't really give a fuck.
Yeah, but you went on the bumper cars, so technically you do give a fuck.
I got forced on them, right? I had James and Matt jumping up and down like excited little kids. Right. Enough of that situation. Enough of that chat, because you don't want to speak anymore about it. That's a good point. No. Paul Arthur said, would they be allowed to set up testers indoors? Essentially, no. It's a cigarette product. Again, they're using the vaping loopholes. It's tobacco soaked in PG. I wouldn't imagine so, but then, I mean, the claims is a combustible tobacco product, isn't it? The law, I believe.
Yeah. It's just going over it.
I don't know. Asking questions that I do not have the answers for, and if I don't have the answers for them, I definitely know Tom's just got fucking a sheet running around in his head.
Expo's what, 20 days away, 25 days, 24 days away. All we can do is wait for the Expo, see if they're there, and if they are testing them and they are using them there, then what can we do? Exactly. Unless somebody goes up to the organizer and says, what's going on here? What's happening here? What's this? Why are they allowed to do this? Nothing's going to be said. Because Expo is not a time for vendors to be going around saying, doing this, do that, what's happening here, and because we've all got things to do. But if anybody who's got an opinion who wants to say, well, why the fuck are they here? Then they can do that. But as Rick said, leave it out. It's done, dusted, whatever. If we'll give them more press than they should be getting in the first place.
You've got to ask questions. If you're unsure, you have to ask a question. It's as simple as that. If you're not going to ask a question, then who's going to do it for you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you are curious, ask them. Ask ICOS. Ask them yourself. Just
I'm up for a challenge. You know me. Well, Sean, if you want to go speak to them, mate, I'm more than happy if you take a camera and record it.
Right, I'm not going to say what, but I had a good conversation with Sean today, and not today at Jam, and I was amazed at what he used to do. But I'm not gonna obviously divulge anything. But it just goes to show you don't actually really know anybody that you meet on the internet. It's not a bad thing, but I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't have thought it in a million years. Anyway, that's yeah. I just go to ICOS and ask them. Ask them, as long as you're sort of polite and not being an arsehole about it. Because I mean, people, the human race as a whole it's very inquisitive, right?
Definitely. Right,
So
let's get on to our final subject, because I think this might be a long one as well. I think we spent about half an hour on the ICOS, so they did get half an hour of our time. So there you go. So the last subject I've got, Rick, is opinions on the subculture of vaping. And the reason I just put that down as a note is, and I actually wrote opinions on the subculture. No, I did actually write it right. I thought I wrote it wrong, but I hadn't. Subculture of vaping. Do you think it's getting bigger? Do you think it's getting better? I've spoke about this with Paul before, about obviously too many chiefs, not enough Indians, sort of on the advice side of things. But the subculture of vaping, do you think it's good at the moment in time?
define subculture.
Well, not your everyday vape, not your general vapor that goes into the shop, and little old Mary that buys a coil and buys juice. You've obviously got that in your own store. They are not sort of the people that go onto Facebook and watch shows like this and read up on the internet. Do you think subculture of vaping, as in sub-home vaping, squonking, mechs and stuff like that, do you think
the hobbyist side?
Yeah, I like to call it it's more of a lifestyle, more of a subculture. You've made it a lifestyle by opening a shop.
Yeah. What was the question? What about it?
What's your opinion on it? Do you think it's growing? Do you think it's decreasing? Do you think the subculture of it is a positive thing? Would you like to see any differences in the subculture? What do you think it's very much broke out into?
Can you stop saying fucking subculture? You're doing it.
No, I love that word. I absolutely love that word.
You think you've made up this lovely word for a vaping community and the hobbyist side of things, whereas hobbyists would just say hobbyist, please.
It's not hobbyist though.
It is.
It's not though.
It's definitely not a culture.
It's definitely a subculture of vaping. Definitely.
Right, fuck it. I'm googling subculture. Subculture. Right. No, it's definitely not a sub. A cultural. Define culture for a start. A cultural group with a larger culture. Yeah. Okay. So you're talking about hobbyists in the larger thing has just been vaping in general. Often having beliefs or interests at variance with those of the larger culture. Okay, yeah, you could probably get away with it as long as you believe in God, right?
It's got nothing to do with it. Yeah. Okay, just because it's you and because you have a special place in my heart, I think I'll call it hobbyist for this evening.
Thank you very much. So, right, we can carry on.
So the question is, what is your opinions on the hobby side of vaping? As in, do you think it's a good thing? Do you think people of somebody who's a regular vapor, like somebody who comes in the store and just wants to buy juice and coils, do you think it's something easy for them to get into? Do you think people are highly opinionated in hobby sides? What is your sort of general feel of the hobby side of vaping?
I like it.
It's not. We're not having none of that crap. I like it. None of that crap.
I like it. What do you mean?
I want your opinion on it.
I like it because
we've got flat earthers in the chat this evening.
I like it to the point where there are different groups. There's different strokes for different folks. Like, you got people that have just discovered sub-ohm vaping and are just starting to get in the hobbyist wagon, the hobbyist subculture wagon. And they're the ones that necessarily go like to where we used to go originally, like UK Vapors, which isn't about anymore, and stuff like that. And then you've got like not the elitist, but like the squonking side. There's this definitive squonking group out there, which is massive. How can you talk about this? I like the fact that it varies so much. I do like the fact that you can always gain more knowledge. I like the fact that you have drama wielding cunts. That's brilliant. That's the best bit about it. I love it. I'm not sure it's a conversation.
Well, let me define the question a little bit better. Going back to Mary, who's 80, who comes into your shop.
Bless Mary. Bless Mary. I love Mary.
Bless Mary for quitting smoking after 70 years of smoking. Do you think that the way the hobby side is it very easy for somebody to transition from that side of it to the hobby side? What do you think? What do you feel about the? We all know we without sort of saying where the starters, we started this sort of hobby side of stuff. What I'm trying to get at is, when I started vaping and we were learning about sub-ohming, we all learned about sub-ohming together. Everybody that was coming up at that time learned about building coils, learned about sub-ohming, learned about battery safety, all at the same time. So people didn't have that knowledge, so we was all learning it together. Well, a lot of people have that knowledge now, and people don't. So people can't organically grow with somebody else or a group of people to learn that stuff because we already know it.
Well, they can. The information's out there. A lot of Facebook groups, if you don't know something, you'll ask a question, you get an answer a lot quicker today than you used to get.
And you'll also get a lot of people fucking talking you down as well. That's one of my fucking negatives.
Well, you can do, but you just tell them to fuck off, right? You know what I mean?
But if you don't know any better and you don't know that information, how are you going to be able to filter that information? For instance, we all know boil a battery is a fucking joke. You do not boil batteries. But there used to be a meme on Facebook about boiling batteries. You're going to get better life out of batteries. It's going to do this if you boil your batteries. And you know for a fact, and I've seen the post, that when somebody actually did it on one of the fucking groups. Well, we all know that's common sense not to do that. But if you're going on to somewhere you have never read stuff for, and then people tell you that information, you're more than likely going to do it.
No, you don't need a degree for common sense. Literally, do not boil your batteries. Do not stick your mod in a microwave because it gives it more power. It is common sense at the end of the day. I love that post. Someone put up a post on April Fool's Day of tinfoil. It basically rolled up into a ball. And he said he put it in the microwave for 30 seconds. It came out this nice ball. How many people have tried it? If you haven't got the common sense to know not to boil batteries, then fuck off. I mean, there is information out there. If you Google anything these days, like let's Google something. Is Big Tom right? So I just put in is Big Tom, and then the results are dead, still alive, married, wife dead, vegan, not a chance. Look at him. You don't get that fat on vegetables. And then is Tom McBride dead? So you could type in right, let's do the battery example. Can I boil batteries? Right. The mystery of boiled batteries. How does boiling alkaline batteries give them more power? There you go. So you can boil batteries. You can.
That has to be a troll.
No, first, don't do this. They can leak, explode. It definitely would not.
That has to be a troll.
So there you go. I just typed that in, and the first result that comes back is don't do it.
And I get that, but that is just an extreme version of what I was saying. You know, down to sort of coil building and stuff like that, and everything. People giving advice on coil building and people having different sort of opinions and everything like that. I get that everybody has their own opinion on doing certain things in vaping, but how does somebody who's getting into the hobby side of things sort of filter between the bullshit and the fucking not bullshit?
Well, the good news is, and I hate to tell you this, Tom, because you're probably not aware, but the good news is there's a vape shop on every fucking corner now, right?
Right.
Hang on, let me finish. Whether it's a good or a bad vape shop, that's not for me to decide. That's for the user that goes in. But there is a vape shop on every corner. 9 times out of 10, or 5 out of 10 times, you'll actually get decent staff that know what they're talking about. They can build a coil, they can show you how to build a coil, tell you not to boil your batteries, tell you not to stick your dick in a blender. Everybody knows not to do that, right?
I hope so.
And we always say to people that get new kits, just say, if you got a question, ring us. Our number's on the card. We've got cards, loyalty cards. Our number's on the card. Ring us or pop in the shop or send a message. There's no question too stupid. There is literally no question too stupid. Because like you say, you might be dealing with an 80-year-old woman or you know, a 50-year-old man with Tourette's or something. I don't know where Tourette's comes into it. I just kind of like the sound of it. But we do, the community is so big now, there's always an answer. There's always an answer. It's a community, it's not a subculture. So get that straight for a start.
We're not going to discuss that point of what it is and what it isn't.
I feel being sort of moving up with Sub-Ohm, we almost created this culture. Not we, me and you, but on the whole, Vape Talk created this culture.
You said culture, by the way.
Yeah. I was talking about like band Culture Club. We created Culture Club. No, we almost created this community. Vape Talk definitely did. Vape Talk UK. Watch some of the episodes. Brilliant. So
First 100.
My favourite is the one where I sellotape my face. Number 15, I think it is, or something like that. I can't remember. Serious laughs back then. Serious laughs.
No, just as I said earlier about the community and, you know, hobbyists. As I said earlier, and I just can't emphasize enough. Obviously, we grew together, and well, for me, always
you grew at a faster rate.
You grew just as much, and I've slimmed down since them days, so you can give over with that crap. So what I'm trying to say is, Rick, is that we grew together as a community, as a sort of little family base, and we all sort of put notes together about coil building and learning Ohm's law, learning battery safety and everything like that as a collective. You know, we moved forward in the industry. That's how the industry moved, because we all did builds, we all did different things. Come on, we built a 1 ohm coil or a 0.9 coil, and we thought it was going to fucking explode in our hands. Today, people will build a stupid coil without even thinking about it. You know, I remember building a 0.9 coil and being scared to fire it because I thought it was fucking low. You know, that's my sort of thing. As I'm saying that as a community, we move forward together. We all learn together. Where is that community thing where people can come in from the outside and grow when the information is already there? I'm just sort of not worried or nervous that we can't move forward as a community. But as you said, there is vape shops out there, but there is vape shops out there that do give the incorrect information.
Yeah.
And Google doesn't always give the fucking right information. So where would you recommend somebody who came into your store and said, well, I want to start sub-ohming, I want to start doing this, I want to start doing the other things and learning more? You know, where do you point them in the right direction, especially with Facebook and all the groups? Where do you point them and know that they're going to be 100% safe?
Point them towards a Smok Mag and say, there you go.
You know, these, even talking about the Smok Mag, it runs a low on build, it runs a low coil. You know, it's come as stock now that everything is sort of sub-ohming. and there's no sort of learning curve. It's all plug and play. You put the coil in, you put your juice in, off you go. It's plug and play. You don't need to know about battery safety. You don't need to know about coil building. You don't need to know how to be safe because it's all plug and fucking play.
But that's how the sub-home industry boomed, right? With the Atlantis.
Yeah, the Atlantis. And to be honest, regarding safety, that was one of the worst things that could have ever happened to the industry because people are lazy with their safety. People are lazy with their knowing Ohm's law and knowing how to build coils and stuff like that. I understand coil building does not appeal to everybody, but people still don't fucking read on it about Ohm's law and battery safety and what right battery should run with the right coil and everything. People don't do that, and that's my scary part. That's where I'm scared personally.
Just fucking whack a building and have a go. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Just whatever you do, do it on a regulated device. Just go for it. Just boom it. That's not boom it. That's the wrong choice of words. But the thing is, what you're forgetting is there's millions upon millions upon millions upon millions. And I don't know how many times I got to say upon millions of videos out there on how to do this shit. Whereas back then you get the odd few, but literally, like, if there's anything you need to know, there are friendly Facebook groups out there. There are friendly, non-trolly Facebook groups out there. And if it does seem like a genuine question, then you'll 9 times out of 10 you get a genuine answer. So I think we're just talking for the sake of talking.
We're not. We're definitely fucking not.
This feels like bait talk.
We're definitely not talking for talking.
I'm just
want to emphasize on it because obviously it's something that's not very much spoke about, and we know it's not spoke about because we are advanced and we don't need to talk about it. But for me, I'm always thinking there's, as we said earlier, with the stats of people still smoking, and we want to get people onto vaping who smoke, and we're wanting to give the correct information out and make sure they feel as welcomed into this sort of community and learning correctly how they should be. That's what I'm trying to get across.
Yeah, but let's it's a case of doing one thing at a time, right? We do get a lot of people that just want to jump in the deep end, go straight to sub-ohm and whatnot. And with devices today, you can. It's perfectly safe to do that. You've got various sub-ohm tanks paired up with mods, which are perfectly safe. And as long as your vape shop's selling perfectly safe batteries, then it's out there to do. And that's what the Aspire Atlantis brought to us initially. And I had one when they first came out, the Atlantis.
I absolutely loved it.
With the CF sub or CF max, where you change the batteries on it. I had one, and it was absolutely fucking brilliant. But I still remember the days when I had what the fuck was it? The one with the 2 buttons only went up to 11 watts.
2 buttons? Oh, are you talking about the SVB?
No.
SVD, sorry.
It was a tube.
Yeah, SVD.
Tube. No. What was it? They're very popular. The Vamo.
Oh, the Vamo, yeah.
The Vamo V5, all the way up to 11 watts. I think I paid 40 quid for mine. But 11 watts was crazy power, right? And then they come out with the Aspire Atlantis. And to be honest, it made the sub-ohm market accessible for everybody, not just for people that wanted to build, right?
Yes.
So where's the issue? It's
No. I'm saying that sort of when that came out, that was game changing. That was where you could actually say this device, this tank is game changing, and it's going to change the way vaping is, and it fucking did.
That's innovation. You never know.
100% it is. But what I'm saying is, before that point, we was all looking at ohms, we was all looking at battery safety, we was all looking at the best way to be safe. When that tank came out, we screwed it on and we vaped it.
Yeah, because you didn't essentially really need to know that shit.
Yeah, but people were running on 10 amp fucking batteries and shit because there wasn't fucking availability of like 25 hours and VT5As and stuff like that. There wasn't that availability of them batteries.
What was the Atlantis when it first came out? 0.6, was it?
0.5.
0.5?
0.5.
0.5 over 4.2. What is 0.5, 4.2, 4. So is that about 9 amps? About 8 or 9 amps. So 10 amp battery is fine. Hang on, let me do it properly. Go to Steam Engine. Other vaping calculators are available. So it's a 0.5 coil, right?
Yes.
It's almost.
We're running it with 10 amp purple E-Fest batteries.
Well, yeah, I was doing my trust fires, mate. Not a
I bet you
are. I might be wrong here. Hang on. 8.4. Yeah, 8.4. Fuck me. I know Ohm's law. Who would have thought it? I would have seriously. Like, it's just the voltage over.
But we're all guilty of being very lazy with it. All of us.
The overall, there you go. Yeah.
You know, we're very, very guilty, all of us, of not actually knowing basic physics. Because that's what it is. And that's my argument is, how do you teach somebody who's coming into it when we are lazy ourselves in not knowing that, because we just plug and play?
But it's a need to know basis. It is a need to know. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to have that knowledge. It's nice to have Ohm's law, know about Ohm's law. Battery safety is the most important one, right? And you'd hope in any shop that, I mean, we sell the batteries now. Each individual battery we sell, we only sell 25 hours, but each individual batteries that we sell have a case and they have a little leaflet inside the box that says about storing them in your pocket and stuff like that. Like, don't store them in your pocket. Always put them in a case afterwards and stuff like that.
That eradicates rips and stuff like that, and then rewrapping. But then you get people who don't even advertise about rewrapping.
Mate, I've seen some shocking batteries over time, and I've had people come in the shop saying my pocket was on fire and stuff. And to be honest, the people that do that don't seem to care.
But then it goes back to you sold them a battery. You sold them battery in a case with a fucking leaflet, and they still fucking throw them in the pocket.
Yeah, well, it's just you can't educate stupid, right?
I agree.
There's always going to be people like that. There's always going to be people like that. As long as the shop owners and the information online is the best knowledge we can give them, then you've given them the tools.
There you go. Sean saying there, I spent 3 hours on an evening teaching Bessie Ohm's law before she opened her shop. So
here you go, Tom. Right. What's 4.2 times by 0.5?
Don't even try to question me, because I've already stated that I'm lazy.
No. It's just simple maths. Simple maths, isn't it? It's quick maths. 4.2 times by 0.5. That's all you need to do.
Yeah.
Go on.
You've already told us.
4.2 times by 0.5.
Well, you're telling us what? You're telling us the watts. What does that make the watts?
Just do the maths, mate.
I'm not doing the fucking maths. It's not fucking maths channel on here.
Oh dear.
But I've said, and I'm more than open and honest to put my hands up and go, I know what build goes in my fucking mod. I know what batteries I use. So learning that sort of side of things as was done years and years ago. So I know what I'm already doing is safe. But people that don't know what the fuck we're doing years and years ago, or have never done it before, don't know it.
Do you know what Craig just put on? It's divided by, it's not divided by, because voltage is at the top. So basically 4.2 times by 0.5 would actually give you 2.1. Whereas if you've done 4.2 divided by 0.5, it goes up. So it'd actually be 8.4.
So we're not listening to Craig.
8.4. Yeah, 2.1. Yeah, sorry. That was me. But the question's still standing. I just wanted to know if you knew which way it went. I wasn't questioning about Ohm's law, so get fucked, Craig Harrison. Up your bum, as they say.
Oh, I'm glad I invited you on this week. I'm definitely glad you was my first protocol and you said yes, because I do always have fun with you.
I'm glad someone had fun.
I really do. I really have a giggle with you, and you are a prick, but I do love you a lot.
I know, Princess. I was your first choice, right?
You was my first choice.
After how many?
No, you was my first choice. I messaged Paul and said, Paul, I know you're away. I'm going to get Rick on as a special guest. And Paul straight away went, yeah, that's amazing. Get Rick on. He's a laugh. So you were my first protocol. We always have a giggle. And you're a good lad. If anybody in chat wants to ask Rick any questions before we shut down the show,
don't open it up to questions.
Get some stuff in.
There's no point. We used to try this on Vape Talk, and all we'd get is has Rick got a missus? Bingo. Has Rick got a big willy? That's all we used to get. And the answer is yes to all of those, I'm afraid.
Well, as you say, you said you got the 2 shots, you're aiming for the 3rd. So that's definitely, as I said earlier, congratulations. And
yeah,
I hope the best for the future, and I hope everything's going well.
As long as the industry just doesn't go downhill, then hopefully within sort of another 3 years, hopefully we'll have 10.
Well, are you hoping for the best in the industry? Do you think the industry's going to last? Let's be realistic.
Put it this way. How can I put this? Yeah, it's going to last. Yeah, there you go. Answered. Answered. It's going to last for a lot longer yet, I think. Whether we're forced with more restrictions or whatnot, I don't know. Yeah, we know you got a message. You got to make you a coffee. How do you know I got messages? It could be my boyfriend. Here we go. Trading standards new check, true or false? I love the fact that Sean thinks that any of us have a clue about the vaping industry.
What's the new check? That's what I wanted to know.
The new checks, basically, they are the whether it's safe for human consumption. In my opinion, I think everything should be tested anyway. Testing is definitely not a bad thing, for one.
Oh, 100% it's not.
Right. For two, if you look at the concentrates, they've all been tested, haven't they? Because they go in food products. The PG's been tested, the VG's been tested, the nicotine shots have been tested anyway. And as John Martin always says, you don't put in PG, VG, your nick, and your concentrate and get a potato at the end.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So in my opinion, as long as everything's being tested that's going in it, surely it's going to be fit for human consumption. You don't suddenly, I mean, I know chemistry, you can make dangerous chemicals out of other chemicals, but you don't put PG, VG, concentrate and nick in there and get arsenic. And I know this is a debate on the show we used to do, Vape Talk, last night. But I think Arthur made the comment but eating and inhaling are two different things. What I want to know is who's doing a test on fucking cigarettes, and if there were any tests, there'd be no cigarettes ever sold.
Exactly, it's a product that we know causes cancer, yet it's still fucking sold.
Not always the case. Diacetyl, I think that is. Yes, correct. But then again, if you are to a point, see at the end, it's
to me, Rick,
hold on, because you're not allowed it in e-liquid anyway. You're not allowed it. It's.
Yeah, to me, regarding short fills, if you can have a short fill that can be created and sold as short fills, and if there is a test that comes in and they basically say, well, you can't do this short fills, it's got to be in a 10ml bottle and it's got to be tested the same way it is now. To me, if liquids are able to be tested overnight and they're going to be safe to vape and they don't need any recipes changing or anything like that, and they're in a short fill bottle and need to be in 10 mils, then I'm particularly quite happy. But I don't think
it's not the same testing. It's not the same testing as the the
Yeah, what I'm
TRPR
saying is,
testing.
but what I'm saying is, obviously it doesn't contain nicotine. That's literally the only difference. Is these recipes should not contain nicotine. They should still be tested for things like diacetyl. They should be able to become a TPD compliant bottle overnight, just adding nicotine. If you've got to change your recipe because it contains diacetyl when you're making short fills, I don't think you should be allowed to sell them.
Yeah. Who's been producing juice that contains diacetyl anyway?
But they're not. But short fills aren't tested, are they? So
No. So yeah. But at the same time, you'd hope you'd do your research and stuff. It's like we created Greedy Fish when we done the Greedy Fish. When we originally made the recipe, we used Capella peanut butter, and then I spoke to Dale, and after seeing like the reports on these flavorings, there is a website where you can actually see the testing reports on them and the contents. And after speaking to Dale, he suggested there was a TFA peanut butter revision 2 or something like that, which contained none. And so we started using that. I mean, it's about knowledge and education. I do agree. Testing should definitely be a thing. It should be
across the board. Yeah, definitely across the board. But my argument is, if the product is out there and it's been sold as short fill, and then tomorrow they come in and say, well, they all need to be TPD compliant, and you start seeing all these juices drop off because they're not TPD compliant, you know for a fact they've just been doing short fills for short fills, not because they're doing it correctly.
But Chris actually made a really good argument on that. He said the paperwork that you've got, and he made an analogy against food hygiene in restaurants, where you get a 5-star if your hygiene is really good, right? But that certificate is only worth the paper it's written on that day, that very specific day. They know they've got trading standards or environmental health or whoever it is that comes in. They're going to clean the kitchen. They're going to make sure everything's perfect, right? And it's the same as when you send away your liquids for testing. You're going to make sure they're perfect. You're going to make sure they're brilliant. They get tested. They come back. Put whatever the fuck we like in it. It's got a number on it. Who cares? You know, concentrate.
That is very, very true. Yes.
Concentrate 1 might cost 20 quid. Concentrate 2 might cost a tenner, but it contains diacetyl. Okay, let's make up one batch with concentrate 1, which is the more expensive concentrate, and then as soon as the testing comes back, we'll make it up with concentrate 2. There's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way of testing.
Yes.
But you can't test every batch, you know, because especially if you're producing hundreds of thousands. Not hundreds of thousands that you put on ice cream. Hundreds of thousands. I know you licked your lips there. Hundreds of thousands of liquid.
It's a very complex industry, and there's a lot of things that need to be possibly changed. But until the powers that be tell us that they need changing, I don't think it's going to change.
Yeah, I mean, Sean just put trading standards tend to just turn up unexpected, though. Yeah, that is correct. But then they'll do their report or whatever, and then they'll tell you how you can improve it, and then they tend to revisit.
Yeah.
From what I understand, anyway, I might be completely blowing smoke out my ass here, but from what I understand, they do tell you how you can improve, and then they do
very much like an MOT, and they give you like an analysis of what you should be doing correctly.
Completely different. One's to do with food, one's to do with cars, mate.
Fuck off, you dick. You are a cock.
we had one trading standards come in, and she sat down. And it was a challenge 25 thing. She's asking about challenge 25, and then she looked at the big bottles. She goes, "Oh, how can you sell the big bottles?" And I said, "Well, they contain a nicotine, so they actually don't come under the TRPR at the moment." And she goes, "All right, okay, that'll explain that then. Can I see those multi-pack boxes, please?" And we had the multi-pack boxes of the Cheap Thrills Miami Drip. You know, the free 10 mils in the box.
Yeah, 3 10, yeah.
And she took a picture of it. She goes, "Oh, I'll have to question those."
10 mil bottle.
Which goes to show they're still not up there knowledge-wise.
Well, let's be realistic. The trading standards themselves they have to have so many departments are not actually just covering e-cigarettes as a department. You know, they cover a lot of things, and I think that's another thing that's a worry, that they don't have the time to actually concentrate on electronic cigarettes, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but isn't necessarily a good thing, that they have one department that covers absolutely fucking everything. You know, they don't have an e-cigarette division that just does electronic cigarette stores.
But the thing I don't get, right, is they're supposed to be the governing body. I don't blame them. They are spread thinly, right? They're supposed to be the people looking out for legislation stuff. But if they don't understand it, and I'm damn sure vape shops understand it a lot more than they do.
Yes.
If they don't understand it, how can we ask them questions regarding stuff?
Exactly. You can't. And that's what I said, do we need a division that just does that certain thing? But as you said, there isn't enough people to do that.
Compared to restaurants and stuff like that, and retail shops and supermarkets and stuff, we're very small fry in terms of like how big the industry is compared to other industries. We are. As I said earlier, trading standards are being tested in certain countries, ready for a countrywide counties ready for a countrywide rollout. Yeah. I think it's a good thing.
Good point, Claire, but I don't think the majority of them are vapers.
Not tested, trained, trained up. But they're only as good as their trainer, right? Who's training them? Someone who's probably never vaped before in their life. That's a wild assumption.
Give them that information anyway, are you? Let's be realistic.
Unless you got the IBVVT or someone like that in there assisting, maybe, or something. Is it? What's that? I don't know. Almost like a union for vapors, isn't it? Is it IBVVT? I'm not sure. IBVVT. No, I don't know. I don't know. But who's doing the training? Again, they're only as good as their trainer, right?
Yes, exactly. Well, it's come to the end of the show, mate. Do you want to give us a sign out?
Hang on. No, let's carry on. IBVTA, there you go. IBVTA. Yeah, Gary Dibley. I had a similar situation when I was doing discos. Trading standards did a spot check to check my license, and I told them more than they knew themselves. Yeah. Because I think doing a disco, you need to have certain licenses to play the music, and
you need a performance license, don't you? It's like putting on a show.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's the same as the license you need for playing music in your shops and stuff. I'm not sure, but I know there's 2 licenses. You got two departments which hold the copyrights. So I'll make sure you're not. PRS, that's it. There's a PRS, and then there's another one as well.
PRS is obviously, that's where the artist gets paid, obviously, from.
Yeah, but there's another one as well that do the same thing, and you got to pay them both.
PRS. You have to get a PRS license for obviously if you're playing radio or your own music, and then it's like a performance license because you're putting on basically like a show.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the best thing to do is obviously when they come in the shop and you do have more knowledge than them, is to try and almost give them a bit more education back, if you know what I mean, in a non-rude sort of told you so kind of way, but in a way where you can.
What about what Pixie's saying? Pixie's saying it's a bit like, how trained will the pharmaceutical people be when they are on the NHS? I don't think we'll ever get to the point where vapes on NHS, I don't think, now. I genuinely don't feel like that's been pushed.
Well, they had that scheme. I'm not sure if it's still going on, but they had that scheme in Oxford. Was it Oxford or Cambridge? One of the two, where the NHS, they were actually giving people that wanted to give up a £25 voucher to go to an e-cigarette shop and spend it in there on an e-cigarette. Maybe that's the way they're going to go.
Voucher, though, that's the fucking question.
Who's paying that? Oh,
who the fuck's paying that?
Well, the government, right?
No, us. We're paying it.
You might be, mate. I'm not. I don't pay for this.
We're paying it. That's the fucking problem. That to me, this goes back to the debate where I honestly do not feel that vaping should ever be part of fucking going through the NHS. There's a lot, and this can be widespread debate on a lot of things that are offered on the NHS. But fucking, if you're wanting to stop smoking, you should be. If you put yourself in that space of smoking, you should be able to fucking do it yourself and pay for that to get off smoking.
Yeah, but at the same time, in the long run, it's going to save the NHS a lot of money, right?
But we're doing that already. By
No,
stopping people fucking smoking anyway.
Yeah, but for every £25 spent on a voucher for an e-cigarette, right? If that person was to develop cancer through a smoking-related disease, how much is it going to cost the NHS to do all the treatment?
Yeah, and where's the money being lost though? It's not being lost at the NHS, it's being lost at the fucking pharmaceuticals. And the biggest power in the fucking world is the pharmaceutical industry. They don't like that.
Yeah, but the NHS still have to pay the pharmaceutical company regardless, whether they're paying them. Because, I mean, all right, I don't know how much it costs for chemo or radiotherapy. It's got to be thousands upon thousands of pounds, right? If you were to get it done privately. Yeah, so it's costing them a lot more money to obviously look after the patients that have a smoking-related disease than it would be to give them a £25 voucher and potentially prevent that person from getting cancer.
That's not my argument, Ricky. My argument is people are losing money by somebody getting a £25 voucher can save somebody's life by buying an e-cigarette. Also saves the NHS a lot of money. Where the money's being lost is by the pharmaceutical company. So the pharmaceutical companies don't like the fact that they're losing a lot of money through fucking death.
Well, to be honest, right, this is the first example I've seen, and I might be completely wrong, but the pharmaceutical companies are starting to hedge into the vaping industry.
I've been in a while though, aren't there, with certain companies that are out there that are owned by big tobacco and big pharma.
I know of one company, the original company that we used for our white label, for their white label service, Blend and Bottle has been bought out by a big pharmaceutical company, and they're releasing new lines very, very soon. So it could be a turning point. But however, we can't forget that it was Big Pharma that gave a lot of money to Brussels to put these regulations in place. So is that part of their big plan? Was that part of their big plan?
Well, me and Paul have mentioned it on previous shows. And we've said how Big Pharma and Big Tobacco sat back and went, let these little boys do all the fucking work for us. Let them invest all the fucking money and then we'll come in and go, thank you very much.
I don't think Big Tobacco did sit back. I think they jumped in and they're making a lot of money. I mean, you're probably talking about Philip Morris there.
No, we're talking about in general, the tobacco companies.
They're in a lot
sat
now.
back and let everybody sort of get on with what they were doing with vaping. Rick, 3, 4, 5 years ago, tobacco companies had fuck all to do with vaping. Now you've got Blue out there, releasing their own systems. You've got Philip Morris deciding to do his own. Exactly. So all these big tobacco companies are now thinking, well, let's get a slice of the cake because they've already fucking done all the hard work for us. And we have done all the fucking hard work for them. Is
it a case of that, or is it a case of, oh, hang on, there's quite a lot of money in this?
No, they didn't invest in initially because they let everybody else do it. And now because it's actually a regulated fucking industry and it is becoming a highly regulated industry, they are now going, well, we can now invest our fucking millions because we know where we stand.
If Big Tobacco wanted to give me a few million for my shops, then I would go, sure.
100%, mate. And a lot of companies would do that. And I don't blame people for that because, as I said, we are the smaller people. We aren't the big billions and trillions of pounds in the fucking bank. We are what we would call fucking mere mortal humans. We aren't sat there with Philip Morris's money. So I cannot sit here and blame anybody that would sell to a big tobacco company.
All I want out of mine is enough money to buy a house, get a car, a decent car, a nice car, and to live comfortably. Not rich, but to live comfortably. That's all I want.
It's business at the end of the day. There's got to be an end goal. And if the end goal is to be sold out by Big Tobacco, then that's the end goal.
And that's not an end goal. That's not an end goal. But you know it's coming. You know it's coming to a lot of people.
But you know damn well there is that sort of vibe out there at the minute because Big Tobacco are taking a big lunge into our industry.
Anyway, you're fucking boring me now, Tom.
Well, say bye to everybody because it's been lovely having you on. We'll be back hopefully to normal schedule next week with Paul. We might get Rick in just before Expo so we can sort of have a little bit of a giggle with Rick because Rick is very much fun. So thank everybody for watching. You've been an absolute star.
I hope we'll be
I know
shit.
you're not going to Expo. That's the whole fucking point of having you on, to fucking give you some shit about not going.
Why would you give me shit about not going? I don't care.
Because I wanted to see your face. You go all the way to fucking London from Scotland, but you won't go to Birmingham from Scotland.
That's a lot easier to get a train to London.
Fuck you then. Say goodbye. Do your wavy hand thing that we used to do, and we'll shut the show out. That is not the wavy hand thing. Love you all. We'll see you next week. Thank you ever so much for tuning in. We do love you. See you later. Good night.
Oh, Tom.